Hello guys, this is Emperor of Great Unknown with a Medieval 2 online commentary battle. Now this battle is a 4-player free-for-all, and you could probably tell I'm commanding the Mongols, and this is a no-rules battle, I'm pretty sure. And I think the money was between 30 and 25k, so this is quite an interesting battle. But I have to say, like, this was one of the most enjoyable free-for-alls I've played in Medieval 2. We have our first opponent here, England, commanded by CM Pop 1. I think that's how you would say it. And then we have another opponent, Milan, commanded by the Lord of UK. I'm sure there are some Medieval 2 players that would disagree with that title, but we'll let them have it. And then we have Spain here, commanded by the Teutonic Order. Now, what I really liked about this battle, especially for a no rules battle, is that the army builds weren't really like insane. Like, no one really brought like elephants or all cav or like 20 mortars or something, something ridiculous, which is usually what you expect. Of course, it's a high money battle, so I decided to go with a Grand Mongol army. I mean, this is the only chance I'm probably going to get to actually command the Mongols like this, so I thought I'd take it. Anyway, let's start with my general. I have 1 bodyguard here. I have 4 Khan's Guard, and most of these guys are upgraded. I'm pretty sure everyone's upgraded here. And I have 4 Mongol heavy archers, I believe. Yes, 4 Mongol heavy archers, 3 Mongol horse archers, and 2 Mongol light lancers. I also brought some infantry. I brought some 4 dismounted archers, and 1 Mongol infantry unit. Just for some, I suppose, support, infantry support, archer support. So let's head on actually over. We'll do England first. I'll advance it slowly here. England brought 2 generals' bodyguards without the general in them. I always hate when people bring extra bodyguards, especially when they don't even put their general in, but we'll let them with that. He brought 2 mortars, 3 English knights, 3 longbowmen, 2 dismounted English knights, 3 armored surgeons, 3 armored swordsmen, and 2 dismounted feudal knights with a very nice, like, Agincourt-like formation. I don't think he put any upgrades in his units, so which was a mistake. I'm pretty sure this guy is a fairly new player, and you'll see why in a couple minutes. We'll go to full speed, or half speed actually. And we have the Lord of UK commanding Milan. He's got 1 Carroccio standard. He's got 1 general's bodyguard. And before these guys start moving, I think he's got 4 Genoese crossbowmen. He's got 2 broken lancers up there, and another broken lancers, and a Familia Ducale. Or Ducale, or however you pronounce it. And let's see, he's got, I think he's got 3 broken lancers and 3 dismounted feudal knights. And that's his army. Army in green. And finally we have the Teutonic Order, who is now all bunched up and can't really tell what he has, but I think he has a lot of musketeers, some Pavis crossbowmen, tertio pikemen, sword and buckler men. I think he's got 5 conquistadors, and probably the rest is dismounted conquistadors. Yeah, probably 5 or 6 dismounted conquistadors. Is there a general's bodyguard in here somewhere? I can't really tell. Probably not, but pretty good army, bringing Spain. Anyway, first action starts over on my side. He's got this mortar coming in, and apparently I'm engaged or something. These guys are fighting with nothing, I suppose. Oh well, music just got intense, so we'll speed up. Now, obvious tactic I'm going to use is just harass the flanks with horse archers. I'm probably going to charge this mortar right here, lift it out in the open. Yep, exactly what I do. So that was some nice action on our part. And he gets all disorganized, and I think he just like match-clicked something. So this is already starting to look signs of a new player. As a new player, you never want to move your entire army like this, you want to kind of form them up. Although he's got them formed up now, so I guess he stopped them, or maybe it was his intention. But he's pursuing everything with all his knights, which is what I want him to do. I want to draw out his knights so I could shoot at them from above and get my archers on them. It also seems that England has moved up their longbowmen towards Milan, which I'm sure won't go well. Yeah, won't go well at all. Anyway, he still has his mortar left, surprisingly. They stood still in the face of the Mongols. But I'm going to try to get on his flank again and get a good surround. He's moving up his infantry without cav support. So basically I'm moving my massive Mongol army around to face him and cut him off from the rest of the players. It looks like Milan was content to sit on top of his hill, and I think Spain was going for higher ground at the moment. Yeah, he's all bunched up over there. So I pretty much had free reign over England. But this was the last man standing match, unfortunately. I usually play scored resolutions, so usually the last person to engage is best off at winning. While with a scored resolution, the first person to engage is the best off at winning. But anyway, we're getting some good flank shots and some close-in shots here. So we're getting a lot of scores of kills in this heavy infantry. Softening up before a charge. Now he's getting his men into a deep formation, which is alright when you're, I guess, trying to confront a cav charge, but not in the way he uses it. This is just going to get him surrounded. And he's charging forward, so I'm moving away my light lancers so my Khan's guard could take the heavy charge in. I do believe for some reason he also sends his cav off to Milan and make it chopped up. I'm not sure if this guy realized it was last man standing. I wasn't the host of this, but it's too bad. So we're gonna get a nice charge in here. And I already killed his general in the first charge. His infantry is gonna stick around for a bit longer though. He catches some of my cav here. But this is just a nice juicy target, and I'm getting a charge in here of my heavy archers. And I'm bringing my archers in to shoot at some infantry. So we got our first breaking over here. And I'm just going to cycle through these charges. I get my general involved here.
We have bled the enemy badly. They have only half their men left.
And this is where he sends in his two generals' bodyguards, but by now it's a bit too late. I've pretty much halved his infantry power at least. And I'm just forming up for other charges. See, here's my heavy archers, and they come in. And look at that, like the back ranks just fall to the ground, and they're gone. Now these general bodyguard will last quite a bit longer, and they've already cut down my heavy archers to half strength. Now remember, it's huge unit scale here, so I think 80 is the max. But we're gonna get us around, and they fight to the death, or they surrender. And I get my archers out of there. We also got some cav action in the back here. Some returning English knights. But as you can see, within maybe a minute or two, the English was completely destroyed by the Mongol army. This is a great way to show you how using cav, especially using cav in like the skirmish heavy way, can be just absolutely deadly, and this is why horse archers and cav are limited usually in online battles. But it was a fun one to play. So we got another charge in here on these spearmen who weren't braced, and they're gonna quickly dissolve. I do believe Teutonic Order has a skirmishing force here to harass me, but I'm just gonna try to run away from that at the moment. So England was knocked out, and I probably lost maybe a fifth of my army, maybe a fourth at maximum. I still have healthy numbers of Khan's Guard and most of my heavy archers left. But I'm gonna pull back, seeing as I was kind of out in the open and exposed. England still has some last remaining longbowmen and cav left, but they're gonna kind of chicken away from the fight for a moment. Now we have Milan setting up against Spain over here on these two opposing hills. Milan obviously has the bigger hill of the two, but they're gonna be content with just staying where they are for the moment. So we'll look at Spain's army now that they're all formed up. He's got 4 musketeers, 2 Pavis crossbowmen, a tercio pikemen, 2 sword and bucklermen, 5 dismounted conquistadors, and 5 conquistadors. And that sums up his army pretty well. Where's his general then? His general's maybe in one of these. Oh, and it's got 1 mounted crossbowman, which may be engaged right now. No, I'm just wiping up the rest of the cav of England. Yeah, the mounted crossbowmen are walking back to their army. What unit had Teutonic Order's general in it? Oh, this guy right here. One of the dismounted conquistadors. It's not a good idea to put your general on the ground when there's a Mongol army running about, but
See the enemy run before
we'll
our
see.
might. We will leave nothing behind but widows and orphans.
Now, I've routed the rest of England here, so England's been officially wiped out of the match. But remember, this is last man standing, and I've already taken on an army, but that puts me at a disadvantage compared to Milan and Spain here. So what I want to try to do is get Milan and Spain to engage on their own. Milan's going to send some units my way to kind of halt off any attacks from the back. I'm going to fast forward at this part here, since this one kind of drags on for a bit in a stalemate. Since they happen in free-for-alls, people tend to go for the nearest hill and stick to it. And then either one team has to break the truce, or someone's got to get off the hill. You also got 2 revolts. I think I forgot to mention that. And then there's some action going on somewhere. I think I'm just chasing what's left. No, people are shooting at something. Oh, this one. Oh, the lone longbowman got shot down. Sniped out. And this is where I do believe that Spain and Milan start skirmishing each other. Milan's kind of put himself in a precarious position because I'm getting in behind over here, and he's going to be between myself and Spain. He also has the biggest hill, so he doesn't want to surrender it. Otherwise, I would take it or Spain would take it, which is kind of probably what me and Spain are contending for. We both want the hill, but we don't want to directly assault it. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward it again. Spain's going to move up here to get some cover and kind of move up on the flank here. You see, with this angle, the Milan's musketeers can't really get shots in unless they were positioned here, which Milan could do, but Milan's tucked up here. So Spain's going to take advantage of this and move on this position while it can. we'll just witness my Mongol army moving off in the distance. Very disciplined, very well organized. Now the Mongols probably aren't the best faction to use for this kind of heavy cav tactic. Maybe Poland would be better. Poland's kind of got crappy horse archers, so maybe Byzantium, or Egypt. Egypt would be a pretty good choice for an all-cav army, if you theoretically had to give an all-cav army. Also Russia probably. So now they're moving to face each other. I think Spain chickens out here and runs away a bit. I think they're afraid of the revolts, because if the revolts got in here, they would just rip to shreds, just blow up the units. But Milan is spreading himself a bit thin here. He has his cav in the back though to screen his army from any attacks that I would bring upon him. And there's the fully formed Mongol army in the distance. We'll just take a look at it, at the impressiveness. Now this is pretty much true to history, real life Mongol formation. You have the kind of horse archers as bait in the front, and then you got some light cav behind, and then you got heavier horse archers on the flanks to flank around, and then you got the heavy cav out in the back to charge any bait or to provide protection from enemy cav that would go after the horse archers. And basically what the Mongols would do is they would send out their light cav and their horse archers and kind of skirmish with the front army and then pretend to retreat. And then the enemy, thinking they won, as they usually do by like Western military doctrine, is to charge after the enemy, and then they'll realize that they'll get surrounded and the Mongols turn around and cut them down. And that leaves the rest of the army exposed. Or sometimes they just outright surround armies, even if they were much more numerically superior. You know, when you look at the Medieval 2 campaign, you like get 8 Mongol armies coming in the campaign, and it's like terrifying. But in reality, the Mongols had a very small army, especially compared to the size of their empire. So, for instance, the armies of Poland and Hungary were much larger than the Mongol army that came to invade them. But they were just defeated by the superior Mongol tactics. The Mongols, of course, were stopped by the Mamluks, which is kind of irony because the Mamluks were basically enslaved Cumanes and nomadic peoples who were displaced by the Mongols, and they came to rule in Egypt and attacked. Well, the Mongols tried to invade Egypt, and the Mamluks repelled and beat them. They weren't the first nation to beat them. I think Korea may have beat back one of their invasions, but they were definitely the first in the Western world. Also, I suppose you could say China stopped them from crossing the Yangtze for the time being. Anyway, we have more skirmishing over here as Spain moves to this side to skirmish with the Mongol. People are already getting their first shots off. Gunpowder is quite powerful in Medieval 2 when used right. I mean, at a glance they kind of look weak, but ooh, here we go. We got some broken lances and conquistadors duking me up. Anyway, as I was saying about gunpowder was that basically they have weak melee stats, but their weapon damage is just amazing, and their accuracy is the best, and their range is the longest, and they also cause morale damage, so they're really great for anti-rush builds, if they're allowed, that is. A lot of times guns aren't allowed. But here we get more engagements over here, and I see that Milan's engaged his calves, so I'm going to be sneaky and run up my army to take advantage. And Milan's kind of pushed himself down off the hill, So I'm just gonna take the hill. And that worked pretty well to my advantage. I gotta be careful of these Genoese crossmen though, because they'll rip apart my horse archers. And Milan gets out of here. I believe one of their broken lances is fighting to the death here. Or will fight to the death. Again, Milan still seems a bit focused on Spain at the moment, so I'm just gonna position my units to inflict havoc. Now this is a bit risky moving my archers forward, because if Milan chose to try to engage them, I'd have to move up my cav, which would expose them. But I also get the advantage of this is getting a really good position down on these units. And he doesn't have any cav nearby to exploit this, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the skirmish. I'm gonna use the hill mostly to protect myself from the Genoese crossmen. Of course, a lot of my men still die. Jeez, yeah, wow, these Genoese, even shooting uphill, they're good. Anyway, he sends out his general. I'm not sure why he does this, but plays right into the trap, really. And he will catch this Mongol horse archer, actually. Just because it was in Cantabrian circle. But I'm gonna get with these heavy archers, and then I'm gonna charge in with my Khan's guard. Basically surround it. Get some fire arrows to try to get them to rout. And it looks like we're gonna...
The enemy general lies dead.
Yep, we killed the general.
Now that western dog is slain.
So the damage has been done there. I believe Milan was also trying to charge up Spain, but Spain managed to fend him off. So Milan's pretty much sees that it's ensnared, trapped between a rock and a hard place, I suppose. And I think we're gonna try to come and take back this hill. So I gotta skirmish away. Although it doesn't really work here. I'm gonna get good charge off on these feudal knights here. Killing a lot of my own men, unfortunately, with fire arrows. And we got the calves charging in here. So the Khan's guard are in their second fight of the day with my Mongol heavy archers, which are probably in their third or second fight of the day. And we get a good surround on these Milanese cavalry, so we're gonna break. And again, I'm just retreating away mostly where I can from these feudal knights. Oh, this one guy's really gun-ho. Just run. But they're gonna get isolated. However, all this fighting is wearing down my cav, and fighting Spain alone would be a pretty terrible prospect. Especially Spain, because Spain was the strongest faction of the field, in my opinion at least. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of this fight. And I see the exposed skirmish line here, so I'm gonna attack them. I was probably a bit lazy with my cav here and keeping them in the fight. Managed to rout these infantry at 83 strong, so that's pretty good. And I get another good charge here.
Only half the enemy
And
force remains between
the
us
enemy
and
just gets
victory.
slaughtered. They just fall down. Oh, he does get volley off on me. But Spain's coming in to try to mop up the rest and contest the hill. So I see my best chance to win is just to take on Milan and take this hill. Although, again, I don't really have any infantry to combat Spain's, and Spain still got his cav. So it's going to be quite a challenge. And get a nice rear charge here, and there goes that unit. And it runs away. I think Milan's trying to get away as Genoese to survive the battle. And we get this nice hail of fire arrows. Blot out the sun. No, not really, but I don't think he could blot out the sun. So we got Spain moving up here, basically taking the spoils. And it's gonna look pretty dismal for my forces here. He's got the skirmish advantage infantry and probably equal in cav at the moment. Well, I'm probably a bit better, but my Khan's Guard down to 32, 39. One's at 53, but all my other units are fairly depleted. Doesn't really show this bar anymore, but I probably have about a third or a fourth of my army left. No, probably a third. Against a fairly healthy Spanish army here. But I have the hill advantage, so I felt confident in holding here. Though I suppose I could have skirmished away, but I didn't think I had much ammo left at this point. So these high mining battles are quite fun, and especially if you don't really take them competitively. Like, if I would never bring this Mongol army to a competitive match. And, oh, hello. Spain got some cav in. I'm gonna surround them with these dismounted archers. But first off, the rules would usually ban this, and a good player, like in charge of a Spanish army like this, would be able to defeat this army pretty handily. At least in my opinion. So we got people going crazy here. But this is just going to be the end of my Khan's Guard. These dismounted conquistadors are going to rip them to shreds, and they rout on me. First units to rout. And these ones are fighting to the death. And I don't really have much cav to send out. I think I have my general.
Our foe is broken. Watch how these weaklings
Milan finally ran away. But I get a good charge here with some Khan's Guard. I'm just desperately trying to protect my archers. And Spain is helping me a bit here by kind of blobbing up his forces here, so I get quite a few kills on these conquistadors. We probably wipe out I think all of his conquistadors. And our cav looks pretty much even over here. Mongol heavy archers are a really tough unit. And I'm just pouring in fire arrows to hope to chain route things.
Only half the enemy force remains between us and victory. The enemy general lies dead.
Oh.
The wind is sweet. Our warlord has fallen.
Again. Oh.
Trust mightiest Khan. Only half
Yeah,
of
I think
our
my
force
general
remains.
dies within a second of his general. That's why I didn't want to bring an infantry general. I'm not sure where my general died, but I think he died in the cav fight over here. But at this point it looks pretty dismal for me. All I got is these archers left, and I think, yeah, I do have some heavy archers here, and I have some horse archers here as well, coming in from the rear. But again, this cav is just going to clean them up. Got no cav to protect my archers, so down they'll tumble. And they're exhausted, so they'll rout immediately. I think I do have some light lancers, though, that are going to do quite a bit of damage. I'm just charging them through at the moment. While his cav is occupied with the archers. I just want to get as many kills at this point, just to say that I would have won if it was scored resolution. Which I definitely would have at this point. Defeating 3 armies, really. Or defeating 2 armies and killing a half. And I think I have these light lances over here that I forgot about. I think these guys are gonna rout on me. No, I'll bring them in for one last charge, it looks. So against these musketeers, and down goes them. The Mongols shall not go down quietly. We got returning cav just coming in and taking more chunks out of the conquistadors. I was mainly hoping to get a mass rout on like these musketeers or Pevy's crossbowmen, but it wasn't going to happen with all the Spanish cav. But Teutonic Order did say he was impressed by how much his army, how much of his army he lost, given the situation. Yeah, and got a good charge of these Mongol Light Lancers into the side of these conquistadors. But I'm gonna pull them away so they don't rout on me. I think we were my only, unit left really, or these dismounted archers. But I'm gonna come in for another strike. Pikes weren't down, so they didn't really affect anything, and I get a good charge here. And I think I'm just trying to run them through. Take out the conquistadors and do a pretty good job there. But alas, they rout, and it's pretty much over for me. So it was a good game to my opponents. If only Spain and Milan clashed together early on, I think this battle definitely would have been in my favor. Although I did pick on what I thought was the weakest army at the field first, so
1,000 curses. Our men
there
are
we
running
go,
like
1,000
cowards.
curses.
Rally them before victory runs away with them.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that battle. I mostly enjoyed playing it. It's always great to bring a good Mongol army. So, and you just look at the kills here, 3,445 and like 968 captures, which is ridiculous. And it's a testament to bringing an all-cav army. I mean, I was expecting like elephants and all-cav armies and artillery, so I guess I didn't really feel guilty bringing them. But this is definitely not a competitive match, so don't really take any tactics from this or any army builds, because this is not what you would see in a 15k or 12k or 10k matches. Let's check the stats. So England didn't do so well. I mean, he only killed 260 of my forces, and Teutonic Order did the best out of them, out of the 3. But mainly just because he was there to mop up what was left of my army. So let's see, we have the Khan's Guard getting tons of kills, Light Lancers getting their fair share of kills as well. Mongol Heavy Archers actually did the worst of the army, I think. Even the dismounted archers and everything, they get over 100 kills each. Kind of ridiculous when you think about it. And of course, lots of prisoners captured. The Khan's Guard just did amazing in this battle. They fought like in 3 separate engagements and came out on top. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this battle. Check out my other videos. You can see hot seats and more online battles like this. Hopefully I'll get a couple sieges up. I'll see what I do. And I also got to get some Attila content. You guys liked the Attila siege I uploaded about a month ago, so I gotta get back into that. The only problem with Attila right now is it's just a bit buggy with multiplayer. Just things slow down and it's not as enjoyable. Anyway, I'll see you guys later and hope you guys have a nice day.